Of Mice and Miko, Tower 17, Chapter 4. My head spun like a dizzying montage that felt like it lasted for hours. Maybe it was a hallucination. Maybe it wasn't. Colors and lights flung by me. Words were spoken. The veneer of the whole thing was pulled back, revealing a traumatic nightmare that tried to haunt me. The only thing that pulled me back into reality was Sally. She clung to my arm, holding me up, dragging me around, supporting me through it all. But maybe there wasn't in all of it. Maybe the whole thing only took a moment to happen. My head became clear, and I was standing in front of the UFM again.
"Please move, sir. I have other people waiting to get their near-field access modules," the nurse bot said.
Sally's eyes were wide, looking into mine, concerned for my well-being, but there was something off about her. Maybe it was just experience. Knowing what people like me went through in this human processing from hell. Something that tempered her empathy. "They get a little grumpy if we hang around too long after you get your NFAM, she said, tugging me along. "This is the last stop before you get to go to your new home. I promise," she said, touching her nose as we walked into the small, dark, half-filled theater. "A little bit of orientation," she said, sitting next to me. "Don't worry, you don't need to take notes. You'll get a pamphlet in your room with the highlights," she said, patting my knee in a familiar sort of way. The lights dimmed further, and a rusty music track began to play. A projector lit up the far wall, and an animated dog with a face not dissimilar to a UFM walked into the center of a watercolor field.
"I'm so happy to see so many new smiling faces,"
it opened with a bit too much excitement.
"As I welcome you to our happy little community. I'm happy to let you know that you're safe here. The troubles of the outside world don't exist in the towers. There's no more crime or violence or hate. Here you get to leave the outside world and all its troubles in the past," it said, throwing a small planet Earth in a trash can. "You were all chosen for a grand plan," it continued, pulling out a cartoon scroll. "You will find fulfillment in the purpose you were brought here for. That's what you were brought here for, after all. Fulfillment and purpose. Safety and security. All the things humans crave. All the troubles of the outside world don't exist here, and people who try to find them will find themselves removed. I'm proud to announce the grand work you shall all participate in. You shall assist the Miko in directly unlocking the secrets of the internet. And what that means is you'll be solving optical ciphers to help the Miko fight the radical criminals with MDS, Miko Derangement Syndrome. I know all yous is scared of them too, but they can't hurt you here. They are so full of hate and rage at the truth the One illuminated that they want to hurt everyone around them. They need to be stopped, and that's why the Miko need yous guys. You will work from 8 a.m. in the morning until 3 p.m. at night. Then dinner will be served from 4 until 7, and then you will sleep at 8. The common room is for dinner, meetings, and gatherings. Please consult your commissar for your shop floor, restaurant floor, and housing floors."
A priestly sash appeared around the dog's shoulders as it spoke again.
"Sunday is a day of reflection. Started with the morning service of the Tabernacle of the One. It begins at 9, and punctuality is enforced." "I'm sorry," the dog said, changing its tone. "But since the One illuminated the truth, the government has declared all other religions as mental illnesses, and therefore their practice is not allowed in the towers. Please report any and all deviant religions or their practice. These include, but aren't limited to, Christianity, Islam, or secular humanism. You must report them so that they can be corrected before they infect your friends and neighbors with false belief, and eventually MDS. Woof woof."
Sally sat with her hands folded between her knees through the presentation, her eyes never breaking contact with the dog, and her lips mouthing the words verbatim. How many times had she seen it? And why did it seem to hold so much control over her? It seemed to entrance everyone else in the room, too. It was fine, I guessed. A plain little cartoon. but it certainly lacked any of the charm of Remy Rabbit and Rebecca Duck, or their fast-paced antics. They could hold the attention of a crowd of children or adults alike for hours. "No one, aside from you, is allowed to enter your room," the dog continued, his former tone restored. "Everyone must sleep in their own bed for their own safety. This applies to married couples or children. This is strictly enforced." The dog began to walk off the field before turning again. "Don't forget to listen to your commissar as you adjust to your life here." Sally smiled and pointed to herself. The lights turned back on, and everyone followed their commissars out as the next batch moved in. I watched the way Sally looked at me. Did she like me? I thought to myself. She sure acted like it. I'd always had a hard time reading that sort of thing, and we had a pretty big age difference. But some people didn't care about those sorts of things. "Okay," Sally said with a hop. "Now we can get you home." She brought me to a set of 3 elevators, adorned with large E's above them. "This is the east elevator. There are 4 sets of elevators, north, south, east, and west. And the tower is split into quarters. This is the only place you can change from east to west or whatever. Not that you'd ever have a reason to. Now you're an East Winger forever." Forever felt like a very long time. She waved her wrist in front of the sensor next to the elevator door, and it opened with a friendly chime. Then she lifted her wrist in front of the big screen inside the elevator. It lit up with numbers inside of circles. Sally pointed to the number 13. "The shops are on floors 11 to 15. Ours is 13. Restaurants are 16 to 20, she said as she pointed to 17. And housing is 26 to 99, she said, pointing to 53. 23 was also lit up. I lifted my hand, my finger almost touching it, before she grabbed it out of the air like a Shaolin master. "Play your cards right, and you'll find out what's there," she said, coyly with a wink. "One more thing," she said as the elevator shot up the tower. "If you're in the elevator with someone else, and they get off on a floor that's not yours, don't follow them. If you did, your arm will buzz to let you know to get back on the elevator." "And if I don't?" I asked. "Why wouldn't you?" she asked, puzzled like the thought had never entered her mind before. "I imagine the UFMs would bring you to re-education." "And what's that?" I asked. A stern look washed over her face. "Don't. Just don't. We have it good here, and the people who get sent there don't belong in the tower." The elevator came to a quick halt. I had never been in a skyscraper before, and I stumbled at the abrupt stop. Sally smiled at me as I tried to steady myself. Her cold indignation washed from her face. The doors opened into floor 53, and it wasn't as bad as I'd imagined. It wasn't the opulent excess of the lobby, but it was a lot nicer than the bureaucratic jungle we had come from. Gone were the tacky banners and drop ceilings. It was well maintained and clean, with stripes of color to break up the monotones. The carpet was nicer on the feet than the orientation room, too. Above the door that closed behind us, there was a large E with the number 53 after it. We started walking down the hall, following a group of stripes that had split off to the left of the elevator. A UFM was smearing putty on the wall in the hall. Carved into the drywall was the face of a small man wearing glasses peering over a wall. Scratched into the paint next to it was, "Hector was here." "Who's Hector?" I asked quietly. The UFM stopped what it was doing and turned to look at me, and Sally did the same. "What do you mean?" she asked. "The little guy that UFM is covering up on the wall over there." Sally looked lost, confused. She turned to the UFM for guidance. "You're mistaken, sir," it said. "It's nothing but a lie." Then it turned back to its work, making the graffiti disappear. It was weird, but with everything else, I decided to drop it. As we walked, the stripes of color peeled off into separate hallways. "The stripes lead away from the elevators to the common room on the other end of the floor. There are 7 hallways, each a primary color of light." "We are blue," she said, folding her hands out around herself. You're an E Blue 15, and I'm 16. Boys are on the left side, and girls are on the right. She stopped and turned to me. This is singles housing, so there are no kids or married people living here. A few people walked the halls around us. Normal clothes, I thought to myself. That's a good sign. Some people wore colored socks, some white, and some mismatched, but everyone had them. What's the dress code here? I asked. Nothing too revealing. Socks and underwear at all times, even when you're alone or with family. You need pants and a shirt to go out in the hall. Don't worry, they checked your bag for contraband before bringing it to your room. You can buy anything you need down at the store anyway. An awkward silence hung in the air for a moment, like Sally didn't want to see me go. A Midwestern goodbye. In the corner of my eye, I caught sight of another woman burning a hole in my head with her glare. She looked young, but worn, and she had bright red hair that was cropped ragged. Her socks were mismatched, and even more ragged than her. Her left arm was shoved in the pocket of her sweatshirt, and she carried a book in front of her with her right. Watch out for that girl, Sally warned, glaring at the girl. Her name's Macy, and she's been through re-education a few times. She pointed at her own head. We watched Macy disappear into the red hallway, never breaking her glare. I guess I'll see you at dinner at 4, I asked. Sally smiled and nodded before going into her room. Thank you for listening. If you like what you've heard and want to hear more, you can like the video or subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel and the stories I tell in a more direct way, please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Links in the description. Thank you and good night.